Oh, hey there, folks. Welcome to the Log Jam, or currently known as the Log Jam. That might change. You're here with my good buddy Jesse Dumas and Mark Boquin, and my name's Turbo Tom, and we're here to open up with our first episode of our podcast, and we're going to kind of just discuss an array of things. Of course, it is going to be somewhat centered on timber sports, but we're gonna kind of dive into a bunch of different subjects, whatever we find is entertaining for you folks. You're kind of gonna go along with the ride with us. We're gonna figure a bunch of stuff out, how to do this remotely, and what's best and what's the best structure for us to do this at. So we're gonna start off by introducing ourselves. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to Jesse Dumas. Why don't you go ahead and start and tell us who you are?
All right, thanks, Turbo. Yeah, I don't know why. We'll have to talk to my parents about that. Well, welcome everybody. You are a part of history. This is the first ever Log Jam, or whatever the fuck we're going to call it. And Tom said pretty accurately, did a better job than I thought you were going to do, Turbo.
I'm happy with it too.
Yeah,
Thanks.
quick on the head foot. I like it. We're really not sure where this thing is going to go just yet. We've all got a connection to Lumberjack Sports. That's how Thomas and I met. Oh God, 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
going back 2008. So I have a history in Lumberjack announcership. Used to host competitions and exhibitions just for that very reason. Quick on the head foot. I got a start in radio actually when I was 15 years old, and got to know one of the Shears through growing up in Hayward, Wisconsin, where I'm from, where Thomas is from. And they pulled me in to the traveling Lumberjack shows. And there's a lot of other stories that are going to come along with that as we get into this thing. But I currently live in Denver, Colorado. I have a full-time day job with a great big company that I'm not going to talk about, and hopefully they won't find out that I'm doing this. But love comedy, love being on stage, love podcasts. Like I said, I worked in radio for a couple of years when I was pretty young. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here to have a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm excited, and I will throw it over to Mr. Mark Boquin.
I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I did just have a message that said something about your recording is interrupted, Mark. I don't know why. So we're, again, folks, like you said, you're along for the ride. We're kind of figuring some logistics out and some tech stuff. I don't know if it's wanting you to potentially refresh, Mark. We can take a second and edit this part out and go. Well, welcome back, folks. A little technical difficulty there, but we are back in action, and we're going to throw it back to Mark to let him tell you who he is and why he's so ugly.
I'm ugly because, my name is Mark Boquin, by the way. Nice to meet you all. And I'm ugly because I got beat in the face a lot as a kid.
Wow.
No, but, yeah, I know. But yeah, so I met Tom. I've been in timber sports for several years. I probably competed in professional lumberjack competitions for up to 12 years now. And I met Tom back in 2012 after he dumped Dumas. And, I did lumberjack shows with Tom for several years and competed on the professional level for several years. And I'm currently ranked top 20 in the Steel Timber Sports Series. And, looking forward to meeting you guys and having a good time.
Yeah, and Mark Boquin, he got his start in lumberjack sports at Paul Smith College in upstate New York. What town is that in, Mark?
That's actually in Paul Smith's, New York.
Is that the town? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know that.
The campus has its own mailbox or a post office. So it's Paul Smith's College in Paul Smith's, New York, which is also near Saranac Lake.
Right. Okay, cool. And Mark Boquin is actually a twin, an identical twin. There's two of him.
And I got spare parts for days.
And just to let the audience know, as they both told you, I go way back with both of them, over 10 years, but these two have actually never met in person. So
Sure.
this
Probably never will.
We're gonna make them. we're gonna make them do a canoe trip together, and stick them out in the woods for for at least a couple weeks to really
It'll be a big
bond
fucking canoe.
and really we want you guys to bond and have to survive together to really create that connection that has been created over a decade with us. We have to fast track that. So we'll be planning our guys' canoe trip soon.
Naked canoe trip.
Oh yeah, no clothes.
Canoe trip.
That's how you
Probably won't
bond.
get video of that for the viewers.
Good
Well,
vacation.
you know what? I'll be there to record everything, but I won't be saying anything to
Okay.
contribute to the relationship.
Just creepily
Perfect.
masturbating in the bushes.
I'll just be wearing camouflage, just like,
Like a full what are they,
We're
ghillie
just-
suit.
yeah, like a ghillie suit.
Just sitting there around the fire, just going at it.
It's a good example of like where this podcast is going to go
Yeah,
from time to
yeah.
time.
I like
To the
it. I
extreme
like it.
ends if appropriate.
All right. Yeah, I guess coming back to me, my name's Turbo Tom Lancaster. I started Lumberjack Sports in 2005 in Hayward, Wisconsin. That's where I went to high school. That's also where Jesse Dumas went to high school. And it's the home of the Lumberjack World Championships. And during the summer months, they not only have the one annual event called the Lumberjack World Championships, but they also have lumberjack shows happening at that site all summer long. And they hire high school kids, and that's what they did with me. They hired me and kind of threw me into the sport after only a couple weeks of training. And and I've been involved in it ever since. And I've traveled this country and worked for a traveling company as well as multiple different permanent show sites throughout the country. I met Dumas on a road show, and I met Mark up in Alaska working at that show site. And yeah, that's basically it. I got my name for basically being a moron, and I everyone thinks it's because I'm really fast, but it's mainly because as a young cocky teenager, I thought I could muscle my way through this sport, and that's a huge misconception. You have to have a lot of technique and a lot of attention to detail to excel in this sport. And I tried to just muscle my way and hammer my way through it. And I would always just go like 110% in everything. And it got me nowhere in a hurry. So that's why they named me Turbo Tom.
And within the first 3 weeks of Tom and I knowing each other, I puked on his face.
He did. And Dumas, why don't you tell? No, we don't have to go about that. We had a.
My introduction to Turbo was pretty intense as well.
Yeah, I became very good friends with both of you guys within the first 2 weeks, for sure. First 2 or 3 weeks, I bonded quickly with these two.
Yes.
That with stories we can get into later if we choose to. See.
Yes. I might want to have my legal counsel present talking about our origin story.
There might be, there might be some editing out of our podcast if we get into subjects that may not want to be public. I mean, I personally don't have anything to lose. Mark here has a family and a child. He doesn't, maybe not wants to hear those stories. And Dumas has a real job, and I'm basically homeless if it wasn't for my girlfriend. So.
Gotta have the best situation of all of us.
No, it's great. I
lived in my barn for like 3 months. It's all right.
I lived in my shitty RV in Mark's next to Mark's barn for a couple months before I met my girlfriend. There's a comedian out there, right? What's that?
Thank goodness for that girlfriend coming along, Mark.
Yeah.
Get this vagrant out of my front yard.
Yeah.
Well, I brought him up there.
There's this new comedian. Well, kind of a new comedian. He's not very big, but I must have saw him on social media. But now I follow him because he's like his origin story is like he was really actually homeless and like on meth for a lot of years, and he's this big old dude, and he met his wife while he was homeless. It was just like it was pretty funny about him talking like. Well, it's a pretty sweet deal for me, not for her. He said, like, anytime, like, he goes, she wins all the arguments. If we're ever in an argument, she just, like, shows me a tent. And all right, you win.
Moving out.
I'm not saying my girlfriend hasn't made similar threats.
Smart lady.
All right, so we've got a couple different. We're trying to build a structure around this. It's not set in stone yet. I know that we're going to talk about some of this, of course, timber sports, but besides that, we're going to be going over some comments and stuff from our social media that we find either worth talking about because it's, it will help us teach you guys about the sport or give you a little more insight on it, but also there'll be comments that we just find entertaining. That's one thing we will get into. I don't know if we will in this episode, but we are going to get into a segment where we each kind of share a little funny clip. I don't know if we should come up with a title for this.
Internet junk.
Internet junk.
Some
Welcome
web shit.
to Internet Junk. Okay. So,
Show us
again,
your junk.
yeah, I like that. So, Dumas, why don't you show us your junk?
You never asked. All right, let me get it up here. So I've got a video that's near and dear to my heart. It's kind of an oldie, but a goodie. And so one thing about me, I used to work a call center job. I used to take customer calls for a large company, and that's soul-sucking, kind of hateful work. And I would need something to like lift my spirits sometimes. And this video, all 53 seconds of it, would pretty much do the trick every time. I'm going to play it now. So there's this guy at a Chicago Cubs baseball game. He's sitting behind home plate, and he realizes that he is on camera. So you can see him there.
Yeah. It's coming in real slow on my end.
And now here he goes. So I swear to God, if I ever meet this guy, I'm buying him beers all night because he has brought me more happiness.
Even that 3-run third for the Pirates.
Hey, Dumas, you got to remember when you're talking,
What?
you're going to have to mute that video.
Okay. I didn't realize the audio was coming through. I can't
Lead
hear.
pipe sinker starts it below the knees, ends up in the dirt, holds it.
All right, so he's keeping up the act.
Doesn't matter anymore.
And I think he is about. The jug is out.
Back in '96.
They got
No
him.
way.
This happened, we were
And
all
they take
joking
him
that
out.
He automatically should
So
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
that's my video. I'm going to stop the share here.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good. Ooh, I like that view better than the other, whatever it was.
But
So, yeah.
but yeah, I mean that thing. All I had, if I ever had a bad customer call, and I was feeling shitty about myself, I'd turn that on, and it gets me laughing.
Would
every
you
single
go back
time.
to that same video over and over again?
Oh yeah. I've probably watched that 100 times. 100 times. It's just like, I mean, I
That's
love
awesome.
immature, childish, smart-ass humor more than just about everything. And,
Yeah, that's
the guy
awesome.
realizing that he's on national TV and making blowjob gestures. And,
TV. This is the first thing I'm going to do.
yeah.
I wonder how he knew he was on camera.
Well, I mean,
Like
the game
maybe-
was televised, so I think.
But maybe he
just-
saw
and
the.
This is back when the Cubs really sucked. I don't really follow baseball, but
Yeah.
they had a brief period of relevance. I know this was before that. So I actually somebody tracked him down and had an interview with this dude.
Oh, really?
And he didn't have tickets for those seats, but they were open, so he just went down and sat there, and he knew, like, anytime the camera's on the batter, he was going to be
Oh.
framed. So he kind of put himself right there, and then just.
Went to town.
Oh, so it was
Mm-hmm.
premeditated.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah,
Oh,
he knew what he
wow.
was doing.
I
Yeah,
thought
he knew
maybe
he was on
just,
camera. It's brilliant. I mean, that's what I say. Like, if I
No,
ever
it's
meet
so
him,
that's so funny.
he's not paying for any drinks because he's brought me so much happiness.
You're like, dude, you pulled me out of a depression.
Yeah, got me through a couple of years
You kept me from
that
becoming
allowed me to move on to bigger and better things.
homeless Tom.
Yeah, you could have been me, homeless.
Could have been just like you.
You just had to find that video, Tom.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought maybe he was just sitting there randomly and was like, "Oh, I'm on TV," but he was like, "I'm going down there to make blowjob. I'm going to mimic blowjobs." But I can.
My favorite is the
Double fisted.
Oh,
And then
man.
once, actually, let me see if I can get it back here because they
How many
do a
views- how many-
slow-mo.
Hey, wait, hey, Dumas,
What?
before you do, know that you were trying to talk over the volume of the video.
Okay.
And so if you want to say something, you got to
Pause
pause it or mute it. It was
Or
really,
mute the video.
yep. So that's
Okay,
what
we're
I
gonna
was,
go.
that's what I was messing with last time. So it's anytime you want to say something, mute it or pause it or whatever.
Okay. So let me bring it back.
Yep.
And this is good. I know it's not full screen. There it goes. But they get the slow motion instant replay of the at bat, and then they also get him doing the.
Like in slow motion.
It's just it's too good. It's
Yeah,
like
you don't
music.
even need the volume right now. Do you have it muted right now? Or?
Right. I do have it muted right now.
Oh,
So,
perfect. That's great.
bring it back. Just the increasing of yeah. He's looking right at the camera too.
Yeah.
I think you see these people. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but these people are
Yeah,
seeing
I can
him
see your-
laughing
Oh, that's awesome.
and the slow mo instant replay, gagging on
Yeah, he was really getting after it
hypothetical
there.
cock.
I think that one's my favorite. Like, wait.
And then here comes security. The jig is up.
Oh my God, he's probably like worth it.
Absolutely.
Over.
worth it.
How many views?
Absolutely worth it.
How many views does that have?
This is old, and there's multiple instances.
Oh,
So this is 10 years
sure.
old.
Yeah,
169,000.
views. But
I mean, it's not
I
that
always
many.
just search Cubs blowjob guy, and
That's what comes up.
so
That's
for our audience out there, if you need a boost,
You need a
YouTube
boost.
Cubs blowjob guy, and trust me, nothing bad is going to come up, but just that video will
that's awesome.
help you get through the day.
That's awesome. Oh, that's good stuff. To give, not that you have to. I know you don't want to talk about your work too much, but what is cold calling? What would you have to do at that work that made you so sad you had to look at blowjob guy?
It was an inbound call center, so customers calling in would
Okay.
call us, and I'd have to talk them through
Problems.
their bill. Like, so I was in a billing department, so like they would get their bill, they get good and pissed off about it.
That's
They
awesome.
call up and they start yelling at me, and I have kind of short fuse when it comes to stuff like that, so I had to like
You were probably the best at it. Like,
mentally prepare. Like, okay, I can't get into a fight because I'll get fired. And
yeah.
I came really close to that one time. Like, this lady was bitching at me about a $50 charge that somebody had already credited. She just didn't see it
Yeah.
yet, and I'm just waiting for her to stop. And I tell her, I don't know why I needed all that story, but you've already got your credit. Is there anything else I can help you with? Which really pissed her off.
I don't know
And at
why.
one point, she
awesome.
is just reading me the riot act, and I said to her, and I felt like these words coming out of my mouth, and I'm like, don't say it, don't say it. But I said, it doesn't surprise me that you've gotten terrible service because you're a terrible customer. Like, I just felt all these eyes turning around and looking at me like, did he just fucking
Oh, so how many people are around you?
It was like 30 people around me. I mean, like, I'm in
Cubicles.
I've never been in a
busy
call center.
area.
I've never been in a call center.
Yeah, we had like low wall.
Oh, yeah.
dividers so you could see each other. Like, feeling all these eyes. I'm like, oh god, yeah, I got a talking to after that one.
I mean,
Um,
I thought it was
but
going to
that
be worse.
video was like, okay, I need a reset. Like, I need to get my mind off of what just happened there, and that would always do the trick for me. There was a few other ones that I'll bring forth after.
That's funny.
today.
Yeah.
Key element.
I was
That
just
was
going to
great.
say, you've probably got some funny stories where you wanted to, or people that were, maybe you were able to restrain it, but they had to have been pretty upset, pretty crazy.
Yeah. I learned the hard way that, like, flexing back against those types of people just made it worse. Like, so
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't do anything good.
developed some good coping strategies. for lack of a better way of putting it, just manipulate these people into shutting the fuck up and get off the phone.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super funny. I thought you were going to call her a name. I thought you were going to say, I thought when you said, the reason you've gotten such bad service, or it doesn't surprise me, you've gotten such bad service because you were saying it, you're like, because you're a cunt. Because you're a bitch. I was like,
I never cussed at anybody. What I did like to do to kind of freak out my teammates is like, there's a mute button on the phone.
That's funny.
So I'd be saying, I totally understand, Mr. Customer. And then I'd mute the phone so the customer couldn't hear, but everyone around me, and and if you would just shut the fuck up, then I could tell you what's going on with your phone. People are like, what?
That's awesome.
Just kidding.
Oh, that's funny. That's
it's tough. It's the toughest job I ever had. But
mentally, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, because you're making shit money, and the work is kind of humiliating.
Sure.
But it taught me a lot about self-control.
Yeah.
When I was actually just telling somebody this today, like when I'd walk through the door in the morning, I knew if I was going to have a good day or a bad day just because of how my head was screwed on that day. So it's like,
sure,
it taught me like I better figure out how to have good days, like be responsible for my own good.
There you go.
Get your ass to bed. Get a good night's rest. Take care of the things that you got to take care of, so you don't feel like a piece of shit when you're walking in there, because customers will dig that out of you.
Yeah,
sure.
I want to go in loaded, cocked and ready to fight.
Yeah, if your self-esteem is low, like then it's just that much more likely somebody's going to trip your trigger, and then you got real problems.
Yeah. Yeah, deciding that you're going to have a good day is I think something everyone kind of struggles with at times. I try to do that now.
I suck at it.
When I found it, sometimes it's hard for me when I'm trying to make my own schedule and work for myself or whatever. My ADD is so bad, and if I'm unproductive, I'm hard on myself, and I feel like I wasted a whole day. And it depends on how I start my day, though, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool.
All right,
thanks, fellas. That's a little bit of me.
Yeah, cool. Well. Hey, Mark Boquin, why don't you show us your junk?
I'll show you my.
I'm doing this. You get credit for that one. That's a
this is kind of getting legs, isn't it?
Yeah. I like to show us your junk.
All right, let's see if this works. See, Tom, Mark Wahlberg.
Dude, Mark, you got to.
Can I just say I like how this is starting already?
Hold on. Pause it, and Mark, unshare it and share with us what you just the Mark Wahlberg thing.
Stop sharing.
All right, yeah. Dumas, this is funny.
So, all right, let's get into it. All right, here's just share. And so I was telling
you
Tom,
don't have to share the messages if you don't want, unless you have them ready.
No, it's fine. I mean, there's not a lot. So, what I like to do is when I'm on Instagram or whatever, I see recipes, and I'll send myself recipes. See all the recipes, and so when I have good recipes, I like to send them to myself so I could do them and
save them. Yeah.
And to do that, I have to always type in my name. But when I type in Mark Wahlberg always comes up, so I send him the recipes too. maybe one day he'll respond.
So Mark Wahlberg's social media team is getting these fucking recipes. Like, what the fuck is going on?
All these recipes.
That's pretty funny.
That is really funny. You should just stop sending them to yourself and just continue to send them to Mark Wahlberg.
You'll have them in the outbox.
Yeah. So let's get this going. I think everybody who's watching the podcast, if you have recipes you want to save, just send them to Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, just
send them to Mark Wahlberg.
Just
everybody watches
this.
Let's start a movement.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God, that's so. If he told me that today or yesterday, I'd laugh so hard.
Look, here's a video. I don't know if it's going to fill the full screen, but here's a video I sent Tom. I always thought was funny. I mean, when you're watching it, you see that kid's approach. It looks like he's going to crush that rail right there, or that soapbox, right? But
Yeah.
not so much.
She crushed it. With her
Coming in
face.
hard. I mean, that's
Oh
a special
my
kind of ride right there. You just got to
So-
go for it. Just got to go for it.
Like,
I believe there's a name for that position she ended up in that's called the scorpion.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Your feet go up over your head because your face is planted into the ground. That's impressive.
Didn't yeah.
And
What's
she took her
his name?
skis off for it. I don't know if you noticed.
What do you mean?
Her skis came off. She
Oh,
didn't take
Popped
darn
them
off when she.
Oh wow, yeah. I guess they hit first. Or
Yep.
yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like when you're first learning how to ski, well, I guess anytime you could fuck yourself up snowboarding or skateboarding, snowboarding or skiing. Yeah,
Skiboarding.
skiboarding. The last time I went, if I didn't have a helmet, I would have given myself a concussion for sure.
Oh, I've hurt myself a ton snowboarding.
Yeah. It's brutal. Dumas, do you ski or snowboard?
I've skied. I've not snowboarded. The last time I skied was a few years ago, and I live in Colorado, so that's pretty pathetic. But
That is pathetic.
I was getting it down because it had been years before that I had done it the last time, and I got a little overconfident because like you get fatigued, right? You know, you're
Sure. Yeah.
going after it. So I went down a run that was probably on the very edge of my capability, and I fucking ate it and landed like right on my chest.
Yeah.
And just like, ugh, and that was the end of it.
It doesn't make you feel good.
I would
Yeah.
like so I could easily do like my heel and turn with my heel and like whatever they call it, like snowplow or something. You kind of stop yourself. Like, but then when I would go to my toe, like turn to the inside, and then I would like rotate backwards and then end up like catching the back of my edge and then just like off the hard packed snow. And like, I mean, a couple times I had to lay there for a minute to recover because it was, it's brutal. And you're right. I did a couple where I was like on the edge of my capability and you're like, you just start moving so fast.
Well, then you see little kids like that one that just fucking go right by you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
At least it ain't no bitch.
Some kids are good and they do make you feel like a bitch.
I was snowboarding down a really steep slope once and I fell and I was on my back and my snowboard was flat on the ground in front of me and I just started sliding down the hill. I couldn't stop and I was going really fast and my board was flat on the ground and it caught the edge of the board when I was laying on the ground cruising super fast and the edge just caught. And I swear my shoulders touched my butt and then it slingshot me and shot me like 15 yards down the hill. Every single piece of my back cracked. I thought I was
Oh my
dead.
God. That's brutal.
But then I can move really well afterwards. It's nice and
There you go.
loose.
Nice. All right.
All right,
Is it
show
my
us your
turn to
video.
my turn to show you guys my junk?
Yeah, I only got like
Show
10
us.
minutes, so let's see it.
All right. Do you guys want to see short clips of this dude mimicking women working out in a gym, or do you want to see a one-handed chopper? A
The
one-handed
women
timber
one.
sport athlete that's good.
I've
It's not going
seen
to be as
him.
funny. We're going for funny or
Go
impressive.
funny.
All right, we'll go
Funny.
funny. Sorry, one-handed chopper. Okay.
What's his name? Justin or Jesse or something?
Okay, so I ate some edibles last night, and I have this stuff that's like, just trying to figure out. Sorry, how to
Eat 'em? You eat them through your mouth.
Hang on. Enter
Stick
full.
them up your ass
Oh.
again, Turbo.
Now I have these ones, and I can't. I want to figure out where I got them from because they're like the best edibles I've ever had. Because they just make me like laugh. I'm like giggly as fuck. Like, I mean, like Paige was trying to study last night for a test she had, and I'm like fucking like holding my laughter and just like wheezing over there because this video had me fucking cackling. Okay, sorry, I
Cackling.
had it pulled up, but I forgot I had to come over here and.
Well, we need to get those edibles as a sponsor for the show.
I have them right. Well,
Or was it the Mike
we can
Tyson
look at 'em.
ears?
Okay, so we're gonna. This guy is basically like making fun of women that record when they're working out in the gym, and kind of like reversing the role of like how guys are always creeping on women at the gym. Like he's like making it out like it's like this woman is doing it to him. Like so we won't watch the whole thing because it's a couple minutes, but we'll get into it for a second here. It's super funny.
This video, but I've been
Wait, hold on.
constantly being harassed. There's a lot of dudes.
Sorry, we're still working out the tech. Can you guys see it and hear it? Or
Yeah, stare
Yeah, I got
counter.
You're just calling.
okay,
I hate that I have to make this video, but I've been constantly being harassed. There's a lot of dudes like me that have been just trying to get yoked. And I'm just constantly being harassed. Just stare over, and there it is.
Can you not film me while you're doing whatever it is that is? Everyone sees what you're doing.
stare counter.
Obviously, you can tell. She's looking.
He said I could tell by the way she's looking. She's trying to smash. Like, it makes me laugh as they're like 2 feet from each other, and he's like screaming, and like, oh, there she goes, staring again. Fucking A, that's funny. Sorry, there's not a whole lot to say there, but we'll finish. Oh, you know what? We'll watch it for a little bit longer.
I have headphones in. Not everyone's talking to you all the time.
Not everyone's talking.
To tell the staff now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to tell the staff too, so I'd love that. If you don't mind, please, if you don't mind, tell them. I actually have footage of what happened today. This is all documented.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is the guy right here.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm glad you're here. This is the one that's been harassing me. I have it all on tape.
Oh my
Little
God.
slutty gym boy 6967. That's funny.
Oh, that is funny. I didn't even realize. I like how he goes, I have headphones on. Not everyone's talking to you all the time.
They had to have known each other. There's no way that was just
No,
random
yeah.
person.
At first, I thought he was trying to get somebody like in a real gym, and then I realized there's no way. Oh shit! I just broke something.
it's what we're good at. It's what we're good at.
Wow, we're okay.
I've been seeing a lot more kind of backlash against female gym goers. One for just like what he was pointing out. Actually, I was just watching a video on Twitter of a guy, like there was a video of these chicks working out, videoing themselves, and then there's a guy like standing behind them, and they are just like, look at this piece of shit over here. He's fucking staring at me, and
Yeah.
and then there was another dude that came on and was like, that guy was just minding his own business. Yeah, he looked in your direction. But firstly, it's obnoxious to video yourself at the gym to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You want attention, and somebody looks at you, and now you're pissed.
I think
Mhm.
I saw the same video. He's a pretty yoked dude and kind of clean. I don't know.
Joey Swole, I think was his name on the
I'm
video.
not. I'd have to look. He does it a lot. He basically he'll stitch or whatever. Just what you just said, like women kind of being
Mhm.
hard on, and I'm sure there's creeps. I'm sure it's not easy for women to work out in the gym with some creeps out there, but I know there's a couple times where he's like, we all look at everyone throughout the gym. If you're going to record yourself the
Mhm.
whole time, someone's going to walk by and look in your direction. Like he's not trying to harass you. He just looked over, but.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
But we're
farted in the
men.
gym
What do
once
we
and
know?
Everyone looked at me.
right.
People stare at me all the time. I got a juicy ass, and they can't keep their eyes off me. And whose fault is that?
Yours.
It's my fault
Yeah.
for having the juicy ass. Yeah,
Quit sticking it out there.
I will
Showing
not.
your junk.
I will not. All right. Well, that's fun. I've had fun. That was good. That was there.
Yeah.
You go.
That was
There you go,
good.
folks. That's
This
showing
is the
you
most
our junk.
successful Logjam or whatever podcast we've had so far. Continuous stream of success.
Yeah. That was that section will be I think a go-to every episode, unless something changes, because showing us your junk is a fun catchphrase to
Show us
say.
your junk.
It is.
Yeah.
This is the internet junk. Let's see your junk.
Let's see it. Show it to us.
All right, I gotta get going soon, just so you know.
Oh wow! All right then. Guess the podcast.
Got going early.
Guess the podcast is over. Guess we're done. Guess we're done. Then.
Early.
All right,
It's
folks.
been an hour and 20 minutes.
Deuces.
Yeah.
All right. Is
Good
there
work,
anything else
fellas.
is there anything else we want to cover in this podcast? Anything else we want to say to the audience?
Well, we're gonna try to do one of these every week, I think, no matter where we're at.
We're going to
And,
ease into this. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, man, I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I think we're getting some momentum here.
I like it.
Looking forward to our naked canoe trip too, Mark.
I know. Yeah,
We'll definitely start planning.
Of my people,
Maybe up
reach
at the
out to your
boundary
people.
waters.
Yeah, we'll go
My agent will
international
be in
waters. Yeah.
You guys were talking at the same time there, so no one heard what you guys were saying.
That's good podcasting.
That's great
Perfect
podcasting.
My dog.
International waters.
Well, folks, thanks for watching the first episode of The Log Jam. I'm
Hello.
Turbo Tom Lancaster,
Mark Boquin.
I'm Jesse Dumas.
and we'll see you next time. Yo-ho.